Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop.
What up, y'all? K and B, the Sexy Ninja for Cplus Studios, and welcome to the Sexy Ninja Cast. I hope you're enjoying this podcast so far as we journey further and further ahead into the future of the unknown. But before we dive right on in, we're going to take care of some business. And that business is Crazy Hoodiez with a Z. All designs created by the one and only Big Daddy. Also, to support Big Daddy, go check out Big Daddy Forever. He has his own channel, and he's also still here on the Cplus channel, but show some love. Let's run them numbers up. Shout out, much love to Big Daddy. Okay, if you're new to the Sexy Ninja Cast, this podcast here is based on three things. All me. Well, mostly. So the first part of the podcast, I talk about my week and talk about what I've learned and what's new in my life. The second part of the podcast is the news. And the third part of this podcast is either a review or an interview or something of nature that tickled my fancy, if you will. We've already had some great guests on here, except for the Ramrock. Just putting that out there right now. So you can check out those in the archives. Right now, you can go check it out. So go, if you want to start from the beginning and catch up till now, you can, or you can just keep listening ahead and just keep listening. And Cplus Studios is full of great content. And we just dropped the Pop Flicks, the Batman review with me and my buddy Doug, my bro. So you can go check that out as well. Yeah. So, my week. This week has been very interesting because, one, I'm back to being vegan, and two, I started doing DDP yoga again. And when I say again, especially with vegan, I was vegan for a good like five months. You know, this was a couple years ago, and I actually really enjoyed it. I really liked it. But that time around it was like, I want to lose weight. I'm this and that. Yeah, that's the goal. Like, I want to trim down and whatnot. I want to get back to being healthy and fit and what. And the thing that broke me, the thing that just obliterated the veganism was Thanksgiving. I went down to my in-laws, and it's not my in-laws' fault. She just knows how, my mother-in-law knows how to make a bomb-ass turkey. So, my wife was very supportive. She's still supportive, especially of this decision now again. And she made me like a tofurkey. She made me a vegan Thanksgiving meal that we prepped and everything we took down there. And I just remember the drive down to Phoenix. And I was like, man, turkey. Because I love turkey. My birthday's in November. So I'm a turkey boy. I was born on Thanksgiving. Like I am a turkey boy. Gobble, gobble, all that stuff. So turkey's in the blood. Along with that gravy. So Thanksgiving broke this ninja. And I haven't been back ever since. But with recent events and health issues and just me not feeling myself health-wise, like I feel like I've gone down this slope. Like I've been drinking I've been like snacking like crazy, eating whatever, all junk just piling into my mouth, and I feel it inside. I feel gross, and I just can't look at myself. And I remember I went to eat with somebody at a restaurant, and I went and I turned like this, and I saw the mirror, and I just saw how big I've gotten, and I was just like, damn. And so I woke up one day and just looked in the mirror, and then the part where I was like really motivated, like the part that really motivated me was my wife, because she was sitting right here, and I looked at her, I was like, hey, how would you feel if I go back to being vegan? And she's like, all right, bet, let's do it. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And I was like, all right, shit, yeah, let's do it. Let's get back into it. So it was a slow transition, and it wasn't hard because everyone that says like, oh man, being vegan, and Big Daddy's vegan too, and being a vegan, oh, you can't eat, you're probably going to starve all the time. No, that is far from the case, because I've come across some great things this week that I ate, like some bomb burritos and, like a lot of good food. And I think it's a lot easier now, especially people who want to make a transition into being a vegetarian or vegan, because there's much more options out there. There's much more companies that are aware of these options to be consumed by the consumer. The product needs to be out there. And, if you actually look into being vegan, I'm not telling you, I'm not preaching that. I'm not telling you like, yo, man, you need to commit to being vegan because you're saving the world and all blah, blah. No. This was a lifestyle change. And I've been telling everybody, because they're like, oh, you're doing this for a diet and whatnot. I'm like, I don't like the word diet, because diet is temporary. Diet is such a minute word. It's a lifestyle change of making myself feel better, feel healthy. And I got to tell you, I do feel better. I do feel healthier. And it's only been a week of doing this, but I went from like 284. Now I looked at the scale, I'm 278. Not much, not crazy. Not like, oh my gosh, now I'm skinny. I can get on my skinny jeans and I can get on, my little crop top and look all cute and stuff. No, not yet. But it's not hard. That's all I'm saying. It's like nothing is hard. It's the mindset you put yourself in, that getting in your mind. And if you actually study it, like for me, I remember the first time around I wanted to be vegan. I studied the hell out of it, especially with snacks. I love me some snacks. And the biggest one is chips. And I remember I was like, oh man, if I do this, I got to give up everything. And I was like, everything, I got to give up all of it. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so rough and tough and ugh. And the first thing I Googled was snacks. And I was surprised. I was like, oh my goodness, there is a lot of snacks out there. Especially, there's this purple bag of Doritos. I think it's called Sweet Spicy Chili. Vegan friendly. And it's good too. So I was like, oh, and like I said, I just did the research. And this time around, I switched like that. There we go. Like that. I switched like that. And it was this time around, it was much easier. I made a routine for myself, especially with the yoga in the morning, and that was, I realized when I started doing yoga again, my knees are awful. My right hip is destroyed, beyond destroyed. And because the first time I went down to go bend down, I was like, oh, and then I did a squat. I was like, oh, okay, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. But after these few days, just keep stretching and moving, and I feel great. I feel great, and I won't lie. When you make this transition, like your energy levels are much different, and so work has been whooping my ass this week. So when I get home, I'm like, oh, so tired. But I try not to do that a lot when I get home and just be lazy. I try to get home, like, all right, change clothes, get out of my uniform and whatnot, and put on my clothes, and then I start working on projects for Cplus Studios, because I believe, I can't say the quote in its entirety, but I think it's from The Rock, where it says, why go to a 9-to-5 and make other, work for somebody else and making them money, to come home and not work on your dreams? You're not inspired, or something. It was something of that nature. And I was like, oh, okay. So when I come home, I make sure that I work on my stuff, and bring it out to you, to entertain y'all, to give y'all something to listen to motivate you to watch. And I make sure, and I constantly am on social media, and it was funny. It's like when we started all this, that was tough. Now it's like without even thinking about it, I can be like, tweet, Instagram post, Facebook post, keeping up, making chats, talking to people about interviews, doing this and that, and it's so fluid, and doing all the editing and stuff like that. And that's why I think when me making a choice to being vegan again was so much easier, is because with Cplus has taught me to do that. Just do it. Like, don't stand around and wait for, someone to hold your hand to walk you across the street. Walk across the street. Don't wait for that person. Just go across the street. Walk across it. Okay, well, I want to write something. Well, write something. That's what it technically is. And when I said I'm going to be vegan, I was like, I'm going to be vegan. And guess what? I'm vegan. And it feels good. I feel great. I feel like some unnecessary crap in my body is out now. Big Daddy's been a big support too, because he's the one who's like, yo, you need to get your ass back into it. And I was like, no excuses. But once I made that choice, it was an automatic switch in my brain, and I've been doing good for the week. And it's only been a week, but we shall see what lies ahead, because I don't know what lies ahead. Shit, so we could bring a turkey to my house and be like, hey, I brought you a turkey. I'm like, it's March. Why would you bring me a turkey in March? You son of a, But that was what I learned this week. That is what I've done this week. And I want you to stay motivated. And I want you to understand that the best thing to do is invest in yourself, because nobody else will. You got to do it yourself. All right, y'all. Enough of that veganism. Let's get into the news. Welcome to the news. First up on our list, Tony Khan has bought Ring of Honor. A huge story upon itself. He made the announcement on Wednesday Night Dynamite ahead of the AEW pay-per-view Revolution. What does this mean for the business itself? What does this mean for professional wrestling? We shall see, but this is huge. If you don't agree with that, I should slap you. Slap you. Because this is huge. Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. Next up on the agenda, March 16th on Hulu. You will get those Netflix Marvel shows. Yes, March 16th, you will get Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Punisher, The Defenders. God knows why, but you are getting those shows. And what's to come for them in the MCU? We shall see. But March 16th, if you are subscribed to Hulu, give me a call, baby. We need somebody to support this Cplus news show, because I can't be the only one holding it up. So March 16th, if you're subscribed to Hulu, you will get those Marvel shows. And last but not least, the Batman is out. And we have dropped an exclusive PopFlix review for the Batman here on Cplus Studios. But that's besides the point. K&B the Sexy Ninja, Doug, little bit of douchebag when it comes to movies, but you should see their review, like it or not. Matt Reeves has said Arkham Asylum series is in the works. And that could be landing on HBO Max, which it's going to land on HBO Max, let's just be really honest, because they also have the Penguin show. Yes, Colin Farrell's Penguin from The Batman will be having his own series. That's all I have for the news. I don't know what you think about Matt Reeves saying in Arkham Asylum. I'm pretty stoked. Just give me it all, baby. Just give me it all. And that is it for the news. Okay. All right. Yeah. I hope y'all are enjoying the Sexy Ninja Cast so far. 'Tis the season for WrestleMania. Fa la 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 la. We are in the WrestleMania season. April 2nd and 3rd, a 2-night WrestleMania event. 2 nights. Honestly, I wish there would only be 1 night, but But we have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar and the greatest whatever of all time. They're tagging it. Still going to be fun. The card is looking crazy. Pat McAfee was just added on. Vince McMahon's like, I offer you to compete, because he did an interview this week as well. And I wanted to talk about WrestleMania. I wanted to talk about the season that, like, there's moments of the year where I get down on wrestling, where I'm just like, but when this WrestleMania season, oh my goodness, I get so pumped and jacked. And I'll admit, there's been some WrestleManias where it's just like, but I don't know. Ever since my love for wrestling resparked, I just been like in wrestling mode and just watching everything I can possible on wrestling. And with WrestleMania coming up, this big two-night event, you know, it's 2 for 1, whatever. The card is looking great. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown's Women's title. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And the card is, they're going to keep adding to the card. And AJ Styles versus Edge. There's still so much that needs to be added, and it's a 2-night event, so you know they have to stack both nights to be like you have to tune in. And they've said Brock and Roman are gonna be the main headliner for night 2. I miss the days though of just one WrestleMania, and it's like, okay, yeah, I gotta commit to 2 shows, and don't get me wrong, it's kind of a pain in the ass because I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to see one night of just pure fun entertainment. And don't get me wrong, the past couple WrestleManias, they've done this with the 2-night events, and when it all started with the pandemic, and they had no crowd, and that WrestleMania was unique beyond itself. We got to see The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and John Cena in the most unique match, or whatever you want to call it ever. Then the cinematic AJ Styles versus The Undertaker. You know, you got to go watch those. If you want to watch these pay-per-views, you got to subscribe to Peacock. Hey Peacock, I'm calling. Need some sponsors, all right? I will plug Peacock. I'll put the Peacock in Peacock. Oh, gross. No, and there's been many WrestleManias that I can think of that I've cherished deep down in my heart. I remember some of the best times too were when my family, my grandma on my dad's side, his mom, WrestleMania was the jam. Like, we had barbecue, paid the $60 for the pay-per-view. Like, we went all out for WrestleMania. Like, this was like the granddaddy of them all. And I remember some great times, barbecues, you know, everyone's having a good time, and we would just watch some wrestling. And WrestleMania Season 2 brings good memories back, especially of my grandma Chris, who passed away not recently, a while ago, but she's still with me right here. And we would watch wrestling all the time. And we would, she used to be really, really into it. She would just be like, Vince McMahon's the devil, you know, and this and that. And we would just have fun. And with my, uncles and me and my brother kicking the crap out of each other outside, or breaking furniture when mom wasn't around, And it's definitely one of those things where WrestleMania, 'tis the season for WrestleMania, and WrestleMania's here. And my thoughts and predictions about this year's WrestleMania are all over the place, because they're teasing Vince McMahon coming back to the ring to face Pat McAfee, but Vince invited him to compete at WrestleMania. I think he's going to face Austin Theory. I think he's going to face Austin Theory at WrestleMania, and Vince will be in Austin Theory's corner. They have to start shoveling this stuff out now. SmackDown, they got 4 weeks until WrestleMania hits, and they got to start building these stories now, because back in the day, they would take year round to build to these stories. One thing I do miss for WrestleMania is the Hard Rock themes of whatever match was going to happen. My way or the highway. They had those hard rock songs, and I get it. You got to go with it's sports entertainment at this aspect of it, and now it has to be the spectacle of that pop music and rap music, whatever. And lately the themes sometimes don't match, like especially when it comes to rivalries. I love when they actually use music for the rivalries that fit the rivalry itself, the fight. You're gonna see these guys clash. And now that we need the build, like I can't wait to see what Edge and AJ Styles do. I can't, and Edge turned heel. He went crazy. He's like, my hair, I'm Edge. And AJ Styles has now got to be the babyface of build going up to this Mania match. And now we have to feel empathy and sympathy. And I was hearing on Busted Open Radio, one lady talking, is like, I love Edge. Edge is great, but I can't bring myself to boo him. But I was mixed in that moment, and that's the craziness of professional wrestling. Like, you have to be so invested and then also be disappointed at the same time. But that's just WrestleMania, not WrestleMania. WWE itself, they are a working machine that just they change things on the fly. Like, they don't kind of let it wash away, let it kind of wash away, and then they gradually can change that storyline to turn to this, or change this character to be this, and they just changed Damian Priest to be Hill, and they were teasing that. But there's some things in WWE where if something happens, boom, like Brock Lesnar being at the Day 1 pay-per-view, Roman got COVID, and he could not face Brock Lesnar at Day 1. So what did they do? They added Brock Lesnar into a Fatal 5 match, and he won the title off of Big E, which I wish Big E won the Royal Rumble. I wish he won the Royal Rumble and was actually getting some. He's going to get his WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania, but that's not the case. And that's just WWE in general. It's like, but you don't know, and it becomes predictable, especially with this year's Royal Rumble. And we're sitting here, with Big Daddy, Doug, my wife, and everybody, and I'm like, I bet you $1, some way, somehow, Brock is going to lose the title in some form or fashion, and he's going to enter himself into the Royal Rumble because he's pissed. Lo and behold, Roman interferes, makes him lose the title to Bobby, and bada bing, bada boom, he enters the Royal Rumble, wins. Next night, tells Bobby, I want my rematch, and he gets added into the Elimination Chamber so we can get the belt off Bobby again and put it on Brock, because it's been rumored for a while they wanted to do a unification of the titles, of especially the men's titles, and taking the Universal and WWE, and they went through all these curves and paths just to get that, so they can book Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and the way they're booking it is the greatest blah, 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 blah. And it's just funny to me because we've seen this match over and over again, and my money is hopefully on Roman Reigns, but Big Daddy says contracts and obligations and business is business, brother. Brock Lesnar being the unified WWE heavyweight champion, either way, I just wanted these two dudes just to beat the crap out of each other. They had a great contract signing on SmackDown last week. I haven't watched SmackDown this week, but this will be dropping on Sunday, so I'll be watching it then and tweeting about it if you want to join me on our Twitter. And AEW's Revolution's around the corner, so big things are going to happen there, and it's a great time to be alive if you're a pro wrestling fan. And not many people are like, oh, why do you love WWE? Why do you love WWE? They just do this and this. It's because I've been a fan of WWE for a very, very long time, and it goes all the way back to my great grandfather, who would rush my mom and my great grandma, and when they go to town, I'm like, hey, we need to hurry. You guys need to shop. You guys need to get your stuff done, because we need to go watch Saturday Night Main Event. That's what we're going to do. And I would sit back there and watch wrestling with him, Hogan, like these big superstars, these big, stars, and my love for the wrestling grew from that with my great great-grandfather, and it just grew. And then my grandma, and then my family. And you know what? My family doesn't watch it as much. Like me and my brother watch it, but you know, it's nice now that I have my own little family with my wife and kid, and we're watching it. We're watching it together. So it's a whole new like generation. You know, my kid, she likes watching WWE sometimes. The other day she was watching, I think it was Raw with me, and she really loves the New Day, and she just loves it. She finds it so hilarious when Big E does the, you know, oh, that's another thing. The reason why I brought this up is with WWE, it's like Big E and Kofi are tagging at the moment because Xavier's out, but they can't call them the New Day because of Vince. Vince's weird thing about this. He can't be called New Day because he still wants Big E to be considered a singles wrestler, a singles, you know, and singles competitor. He's just only teaming up with Kofi for now, but they cannot be called the New Day. But I'm just like, they're the New Day. Like you can't not call them the New Day. I hope. God, I just wish Big E deserved that championship. And I remember when he won the championship on Raw. Me and my wife were like, we were watching him versus Bobby Lashley. We're like, oh, come on, man. I mean, we were like, oh, Bobby's going to take this one. It can't be. And then when it was 1, 2, 3, man. Oh, I even put it up on TikTok. Like, Big E's, when he won the title. And I was just like, yes, yes. And then here comes Brock. And this is you can tell my excitement. You can feel my excitement. Like WrestleMania. Favorite WrestleMania? Just because I'm a hardcore fanboy for both of these two individuals and stars. The Rock versus Cena. The first time around and second time around. The first time around was very important to me. And I remember we watched it with a big group people, and it was slightly annoying because everybody was talking. Like when I watch, I'll talk and I'll enjoy myself, and you know we'll laugh and whatnot. But I'm there to watch the match. I'm there to watch these two in the ring go at it, men or women. You know, I'm here to watch wrestling itself and enjoy it and let me do. It's like a movie. You know, you don't want to be talking during the movie. I know people do that, but. That's what happened the first time Rock and Cena. Then the second time they fought in New York, and Cena got the belt off of him. Those manias are special. You know, every mania has a certain story to it from my life. You know, and seeing it's like when at WrestleMania 30 when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. Oh my gosh! Like we were, I forgot who was all there. But I know it was my wife. And my friends, all of us were there. And Doug, he's a big Undertaker fan. Huge Undertaker fan. So when he lost the streak at WrestleMania 30, Doug was not very happy at all. And I remember specifically when we were watching the match, we were like, and it was like 1, 2, 3. And then we're like, no, the ref messed up. No, the ref messed up. The ref can't. What? Undertaker lost? What? You know what I mean? Like it was one of those surreal moments, and you could see the crowd like, holy shit! The Undertaker, the streak is over. Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker. What is going on? and this goes to other great WrestleMania moments like Rock versus Austin at WrestleMania 15, and the constant just like. I think the crowds are very different nowadays. Even the AEW crowd, even though they're a little bit more loud and rowdier than a WWE crowd, I think the crowd in general is just like you when that music hits, especially Stone Cold Steve Austin, Stone Cold. As soon as that music hits, boom, that whole crowd just jumps up. Like people rise now, like yeah, you know, or ooh, but man, you go back and watch those crowds. Back in the day, man, as soon as that music hits, boom, that you cannot even hear a pin drop. But we are in the modern day of professional wrestling, and wrestling itself is a weird, evolving entity upon itself. And the reason I say that is because it's like AEW bringing that indie style professional wrestling. That's what they're all about. We're about wrestling, not about sports entertainment. And it's okay to have both, you know. But I've had said many times, especially if you can go back and look on social events, you can look on New World Podcast, you can look on all that. I was a very, very key, like, let's AW, hell yeah. And very like, and the product, I like the product. I enjoy watching AEW. I've been watching it lately just to build to Revolution, and CM Punk's promo against MJF. It was like, oh, and then the next week MJF's promo, just how heartfelt, and just like it gave me goosebumps and stuff like that. So I definitely want to see AEW's pay-per-view for Revolution. And that's what's so crazy. It's like, that's part of the WrestleMania season for me. All of it. All of this is part of the WrestleMania season for me. And us building to WrestleMania right now. And if you... Bianca Belair whipped Becky Lynch with her hair. And she had the scars and bruises and stuff like that. And on this road to WrestleMania, Finn Balor won the United States Championship off Damian Priest, which I was very happy about. It's not that I don't like Damian Priest. I just don't like the fact that, like, oh, is he good? Is he bad? Oh, now he's bad. Oh, Damian Priest. I miss the old Damian Priest. There's a lot of wrestlers in WWE who kind of just got watered down. And it's kind of like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is my dude all the way back when he was in Ring of Honor and on the indie scene as Kevin Steen. And rumor has it he's going to face Stone Cold Steve Austin. As much as I want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the ring, I think I really want this. And I've thrown this out there on a text to Big Daddy when I was like, I'm going to try to call this, because Kevin Owens has been constantly saying Texas is stupid, Texas this, Texas is awful, Texas. Where's that? Who's from Texas? The Texas Rattlesnake, that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, this is my prediction. It's gonna happen. It better happen. I'm predicting Stone Cold comes out at a certain point, maybe at this upcoming Raw, maybe for when Owens and Seth go for the tag team titles in that, I think it's a triple threat tag team match against the Alpha Academy, and I believe Street Profits. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it is for this upcoming Raw. And he interrupts that match. You hear the glass hit. Stone Cold, he's coming down, and he, bam, clears house. Bam, drops Kevin Owens. It's like, look here, you stupid son of a bitch. You got to understand, talk about Texas. You know, I haven't been in this ring in a minute, and I got somebody who can actually, he's going to say, I haven't been in the ring in a minute. Then right then and there, he's going to, but I found this crazy son of a bitch that's going to represent you because his daddy's all about Texas. Bam, Cody Rhodes music hit, and Austin in Cody's corner, and Seth in Kevin Owens' corner in the battle for Texas, and then at WrestleMania. And that's what I can be wrong, but that's what I'm predicting. I'm throwing it out there right now into the universe at this upcoming Raw. During the match, that's why they don't win the titles. That's why they're not going to have the WrestleMania moment. But all of a sudden, come out, bam, stunner, Stone Cold Stunner, and then look at his stupid son of a bitch, and bam, Cody Rhodes music hits, and Cody's back into WWE. That's what I'm predicting. And with Pat McAfee's match too as well, I'm thinking that's just going to be Austin Theory, unless I already said that before, because now I'm all jacked up, now I'm all pumped, now I'm all sweaty, now I'm just like, I want to take off my shirt and run outside and be like, 'tis the season for WrestleMania, fa la 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 la. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the Sexy Ninja Cast. Hope it inspired you. I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun with us. Tune in next week. And the Sexy Ninja Cast is every Sunday. And are you excited for WrestleMania? Are you excited for everyone to point at the sign for the next 4 weeks? Because I sure am. So, yeah, let us know. Write in the comments if you're excited about this year's WrestleMania. What WrestleMania was your favorite? What match in your mind was the greatest WrestleMania match? Because we can't forget great WrestleMania matches. You know, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker twice. Triple H versus Undertaker. Undertaker's just amazing streak in general. So, let us know. Put it in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this Sexy Ninja Cast for this week. I will see you next Sunday. And I may or may not have a guest. After that, you're going to like and subscribe. You're going to share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember, stay sexy, ninjas.
Welcome to the wicked shit.
Oh, yeah.